So in 1955, you'd been married for 3 years and living in Burke Street.
Yeah.
What do you remember about the lead up to the flood?
Well, it was raining pretty constant at the time, and in the meantime, I got taken me holidays from Bloomfields on a Saturday. We left on the Saturday to go to Sydney, down to a friend's place in Sydney. It was raining when we left, and then.
And that was the Saturday before the flood?
That was Saturday before the flood. I think the flood came on a Monday or something like that, a Monday night or something like that, I think.
Right, yeah.
But then we...
So how did you find out about the flood?
Well, we found out they got in touch with us, I think on the phone, and told us that the flood was gone, and plus all of the news on the radio. And then...
so how did your mother-in-law survive?
The mother-in-law and everything, they were in the house. We had one room we used to live in, and they had the whole house. They had a 3-bedroom house, and a lot of all their stuff got ruined in the flood. What happened to the mother-in-law was her other son lives around in Frith Street. That's how he used to be behind Burke Street. He came around at 2 o'clock in the morning and said to her, "Get out of bed, you get washed away." And she said, "Go on, Frank, you're drunk." And he said, "No, I'm not." He said, "I'm telling you, get out." So she put her feet out on the floor, and she's down in a foot of water. So, and then they couldn't get much out because it was coming up so quick. They grabbed a few photos and put up in the ceiling and through the manhole, and they were elderly people at the time. They were probably just in their late 60s, early 70s, and so they had to get out, and they went up to another son's place up in Fitzroy Street, back up to the old butcher shop up in Fitzroy Street there.
Over past Cobra Street, south of Cobra Street.
South of Cobra Street, yeah. So they went up there, lived up there till the flood run. I tried to get home, we couldn't get home. So the water was across the road to Wellington and all the places. So we came to, I don't think from memory, I don't think we even tried. We waited till we could get home, and then we got home, and then the bloke I was stopping with, he came up with me, and we had a look, and we couldn't see nothing we could do. So we ended up going back to Sydney, and then a couple of holidays short, and then coming back home. Just the wife and I and the baby. And then we come home and we cleaned up and put everything on the footpath, all the old rubbish, everything, like the old massive furniture and stuff like that.
How high did the water come up in Burke Street?
It's up really between 3'6" and 4 foot. That's probably a metre in the day's measurements, and it was coming through the window, and in the bedroom windows through the house. So we were down the bottom end in North Dubbo, where the water was bad down there. There was a garage on the corner that had a lot of oil drums in there. The drum of oil in the garages in them days, we'd have them in 44-gallon drums or 200-litre drums with a hand pump on the top and to pump the oil out when you service the car. And the water, when it came up, it tipped them over and tipped all the oil out. It run all over the place, went through the houses, went through everything. So you had the water problem plus the sewage problem. You know, the sewage was all flooding back into the water. So you had all that problem. And
Plus the oil.
yeah, but when you look at it, there's a few garages in North Dubbo, well, plus all the garages downtown too. Everyone had the same problem when the flood was on because everyone complained about the oil. So, but no one it caught everyone by surprise that they had no chance to get anything out.